10 steps to move forward, creating change, right? Number one is gain awareness, massive awareness. The more awareness you can get, the better you are. Get some. Trust me, the more awareness that you have about anything you're doing, or anything that is, the greater your ability to change it will be. Half of the change is in understanding it. Daring to look. So the next half of this, when we start looking at your own things, I'm going to get some exercises for you to work on this. That's what you're going to be doing, getting awareness. What you do. Why you do it. When did it start? Guess what? If you don't know the answer, just accept you learned it somewhere. Just accept you learned it somewhere. It wasn't given to you at birth by some divine thing. It wasn't given to you. It's not genetically in you. You learned it somewhere, right? Once you acknowledge that you learned it, it's not actually inbuilt in you. It's just something you've taken on, and now you perpetuate through habit. You get to move on. But if you can actually understand where it comes from and everything else, it's all better, and we're going to do some work on that. First, the next thing you ask yourself, which is still under number one, by the way, the awareness, understand what it gives you. Bottom line is, if you don't know anything else, it gives you safety. Bottom line. Just accept it. What does it cost you? Be honest with yourself, really honest and frank with yourself, and say, what's this really costing me? Because most people actually do bury their head in the sand and pretend that life's okay without it. It's okay, I don't need to do this, I don't need to do this. Someone once said actually about things like career and purpose and stuff like that, is if you look to your greatest fears and you'll find your greatest purpose the other side of that. That's just the experience. I've not come across it enough to be able to put my stake in the ground on that comment, right? But he does. He believes in it 100%. Look for where your greatest fear is, because the other side of that will be your greatest purpose. What does it cost you? Be really honest with yourself. What are you missing out on? Number two, decide if it's worth it. Choice. If it's not worth it, then pick something that is. Please don't worry about stuff that isn't worth it. How many of us think about things and worry about things that actually aren't worth it? One of the reasons you don't create change in all these things you're holding in your head is actually because there's no point to it. It's not worth it. People that don't lose weight and everything else, they all want to lose weight, right? They all want to lose weight, but if they're not, there has to be an opposing force, right? You can't just be wanting it. If wanting it was enough, we'd all have everything, wouldn't we? We'd all have everything. If you look at your wants list and look at your haves list, there's a gap in the middle, right? Wherever those gaps are in the middle, there's an unknown force working against you. It has to be. Has to be, right? So decide if it's worth it. Third one is choose. Not I have to change. This can't go on. It's a choice. It's a different energy. It's a choice. It's a total control. It's a total confident approach to something. I choose this. Not, it must change, it has a crisis moment, right? It has to change, enough is enough. Well, great, you know? That's why I put that question, what does it cost you? Create a little bit of pain's good to get a bit of motivation, right? When it comes to the truth, choose to do it. I choose, conscious choice. Don't even need to know at this moment in time what you're going to do about it. You have to make the choice. If you don't actually choose to do it, your mind will not go out and find you the answers that you're looking for. The hows will come later. What we try and do is look at all the hows before we choose to do something. Make the choice and let the hows evolve, right? 4, believe it's possible. If it's not possible, guess what your reality is? It's not possible. If it's not possible, it can't happen. You have to believe it's possible. If you don't believe it's possible, forget it, ditch it, find something else. If you're not willing to believe it's possible, ditch it. Don't hang on to it for another 20, 30 years. It's your choice. If you don't believe it's possible to change, forget it. Either believe it, find belief, find proof, find peers, find people that have overcome what you've overcome, go and get professional help, talk to someone like me who says, yeah, 1,000 people, all the same. You're all unique, the mind is all the same. You're all unique, but your shit's the same as everyone else's. Trust me, it is. Have to, right? You have to believe it's possible. Go out, get proof. If you're not willing to believe it, if you're not willing to put the effort in to believe it's possible, if you want to stand here and argue with me all day long about how you are a shit person and you really are defiantly arguing with me, brilliant. Accept you're a shit person and forget about changing it. Go and do something else. Don't just hang around with it forever. Oh, that needs to change. That needs to change. 10 years later, needs to change. Needs to change. Oh my God. You have to believe it's possible, right? 5, get excited. The more fear that this thing puts you in, guess what's going to happen? I've just shown you, right? So now you go, okay, I will change. Choose it, I choose it, and how I will choose it. Go and get proof, okay, well I can see this person with dyslexia got through that, I can see how this person was scared of public speaking and they did that. I went and saw this person that convinced me how it's possible to change. This great life coach. We've got a workshop coming on, right? The whole one-day workshop, which you've all got a thing on. And in that whole workshop, we're going to be looking at these things, right? You have to look at it. You have to sit there and get excited about the possibility of what life will be. The more fearful you are about what life is going to be, the more you're going to avoid it. Does that make sense? Excitement is the pull, and fear is going to be the push. If something excites you, you go for it. Think about your life. When you've had that excitement, you go for it. Excitement carries you a long way. When you go to a roller coaster and you're full of excitement, you get on it. When you're full of fear, you don't get on it. The ones that really love it, there's a really good mix in the middle, right? They're really right on the brink of like, I'm going to die on this, but just enough excitement to get you onto it, right? Excitement will get you forward. Excitement, you must get excited, right? Otherwise you're battling fear, you're battling it. And I do work with people battling it. I've had people come to me that have absolutely completely changed their whole entire personality. But I mean, they're the best of all they were before, and they've lost all the rubbish, they've lost all the crap. I've lost it in like 8 sessions. 8 sessions. People that have been under like psychiatric help and therapy their entire life. 30 years, 40 years this woman. Suicidal and everything. 8 weeks. Why? I tell you what, she walked through the door, she was absolutely buzzing. Once I talked to her, she got this, she was buzzing with the prospect of what could be. And it made it happen 10 times faster than what I've seen it work for someone who's in fear. Someone else has got similar conditions, fear mode, like these little steps. Good for her, she's still moving forward, she's going to get there, right? She's going to get there. Terrified every step, terrified. Terrifying. Now she's starting to get excited, and I can see the steps are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's taken about a year coaching this woman from where she was. Couldn't even perceive the differences initially. Now, every time I see her, big steps, big steps. If you can get excited, you'll get there. You'll save yourself a fortune in therapy and coaching and everything else, right? Because you do it in half the time, if not more, okay? Sixth is next step. What's the next step? What's the next step in pushing this thing forward? 7th, expect resistance.
What was 7, sorry?
Expect resistance. Expect it. Expect fear to crop its head. Why? Because it's change. It's going to happen, it's inevitable. You're programmed for it. When it comes up, think, okay, this is what George was telling me about, I'm programmed for this, brilliant. Acknowledge it, do it anyway, right? It will happen. You will have fear. Sabotage. You will sabotage yourself. You will find situations to sabotage you. You know this for a second. If any of you have ever gone on a diet and then look at how not only you screw it up for yourself, look at how the world conspires to stop you from going on that diet. Everyone invites you to their party suddenly. Every dinner date in the world suddenly comes to fruition, right? Oh, it has to be next week. I'll start next week. It has to be next week. You look at it. Outside influences change. Expect it. When it happens, expect it. Why? Because if you knew it was going to happen, you see it, okay, fine. I'm ready for it, it's okay. I knew it was going to happen. Why? Because number 8 is, you have to allow yourself to fail. If failing's not an option, then trying's not even going to be on the cards, right? If failing's not an option, then trying's not going to be on the cards. No way. You have to be prepared to allow yourself to fail. You're learning something new. A lot of what you guys have got on your heads, you learn pre-memory almost, right? Pre-memory. Hardwired into you. You didn't learn them in one moment. It's chance, right? Step by step. You learn them, it's happened and it happened again and it happened again. You said, right, this is who I am. Or this is to be feared and this to be excited over and whatever else. You learn it, right? So the new programming, it takes all the time, right? You can't. Brilliant. If you can succeed all the time, brilliant. But expect resistance. Allow yourself to fail, number 8, and allow yourself to succeed. Sounds crazy? Just accept it. It's a whole talk on its own. The Fear of success is as well documented as a fear of failure. You see it all the time. Fear of success. Because success means life will change. Change is scary, whether it's good or bad, it's scary. Number 9, reward yourself regardless. Another little saying, a little quote I say, which is never, or rarely, maybe I should say, but I think never personally, but rarely is the outcome anywhere near as important as taking the action. Quite often the outcome is not the important part of it. We think it is, but rarely is the outcome the important part. In most of the times in life, if you look at what you've done, it's going for it, it's taking the action that actually was the important part, right? So reward yourself regardless. If you're someone who has a fear of failure and who will beat the living hell out of yourself for failing, can you see straight away how you're going to be sabotaging yourself from even going for it? Because it's going to be agony, it's going to be miserable. Because I know I can't succeed all the time, so I know I'm going to fail, but if I do fail, failing's not an option, no win scenario, and if I do fail, I'm going to beat the hell out of myself. So that threat of that stick will prevent you from going forward, right? So you reward yourself regardless. And number 10 is you keep on it. You don't stop, you keep on it. If I get a 1-inch thick iron bar and try and bend it in one go and think, no, I can't do it, that's the end of it. If I take that 1-inch iron bar and apply a bit of pressure every single day, eventually it will bend.